Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. We're speaking with Larry Reaugh. He's the president and CEO of American Manganese. Welcome back to the show, Larry.
Well, Jim, it's always nice to be here.
What's happening with cobalt?
Well, cobalt is still hanging in there close to $60,000 a ton, and what that means to everybody is there is definitely a shortage that's developing. We know about Volkswagen. We talked about that last week, where they failed to get a long-term contract over 5 years. Now, we haven't heard anything from the other users, and they represent 46% of the market. But one of the stainless steel specialty companies in Austria has gone out to get a long-term contract over the next year in cobalt. So they're starting to get concerned, along with the battery industry, that there's not going to be a supply out there, and I wish them all luck in the world in getting a year contract on cobalt. And so there's going to come a time when the highest bidder is going to get the cobalt. It's as simple as that. And the cobalt supply just can't be met as readily as some of the other metals in the world. So, we got a lot of, we believe that the market will start paying attention to recycling. And recycling is kind of the poor sister in the entire group, whether it's a Lithium or Cobalt Explorer or a miner or LIB batteries, EV cars. Recycling has been cycled back, so to say, to the last one on the list, but I see that changing, and it's going to change this year, and there's going to be more attention being brought to that, because really it is an alternate source of cobalt, and it's not being recognized as such. Now, that's enough said on cobalt. I'd like to say that our patents are certainly on budget and schedule. We've received the flow charts from Commercialization, so that's all being done. These will be submitted with the patent application, and I think there's something like about 8 of those. And, so there's a lot of work involved here. Commercialization, in order to make the patent application as airtight as they can, they have got to boil down, over 1,000 tests that were done over the last year. And so we leave them alone, let them get the patent done rather than try to get them sidetracked. And so that's where the patents stand. And that brings up the next topic, which would be what's up for the company next year. Well, we haven't budgeted that except let's say ballpark budget. So we're not going to even talk about what that's going to be and when it's going to get started. But hopefully it would be formulated sometime in December or late November, and we'd get a start in late December or early November, depending on funds. So that is what's going to happen next year. Our budget's going to be substantial, and but we'll have to wait and see how that develops. We haven't had the meetings with Commercialization to get a formalized price, and but I don't see any problems with that, because they understand the technology, they understand what they need, and it makes it a heck of a lot simpler than going out to somebody else that boils down their information and tries to build a pilot plant for the company that may or may not be totally suitable. Now, the other thing that's in the market all the time, and I talk about these things because I get lots of queries about them, and I think I've talked about this before, but there's a lot of new technologies coming out. It almost looks like once a day on lithium, on batteries for EVs, not necessarily lithium-ion. And I've said before that it takes time to commercialize these, and it used to take 10 to 15 years to commercialize a battery before the EV company would feel safe to go ahead and manufacture those batteries for their new EVs. So that may be reduced down, I'd say 5 to 10 years, and so I don't see any other chemistries that have the power and the energy that, for example, cobalt has. So I don't see cobalt getting totally erased from the equation, but I do see it dropping back in total weight or total percentage in the battery. But that's not going to make a lot of difference when you're talking millions of batteries. There's still going to be a humongous shortage of cobalt. And there's going to be competition for that cobalt from the other industries that have been utilizing it for decades. So batteries, yes. Gigafactories, I notice a lot of gigafactories now are talking about having recycling involved. I wish them luck on that. Maybe if they pick up the phone and phone me, we can put a recycling plant at the end of their gigafactory, because we can't find anybody that's as advanced as we are. And we're starting to get a lot of attention in that area. And something will happen. I know everybody's impatient, so am I. Frustrated that they can't see the advantages and the just exactly what our recycling brings to the table. That said and done, we've worked the formula for our success on being able to extract all of the cathode materials from a battery. And we've been successful at that, and that's where everybody else has fallen down. So we have not spent the money that's required, although we're working towards that, on the disassembly of the actual battery itself, the cell. And because if you couldn't get the cathode material back and get that value out of the product, you were really, if you're spending half your budget on taking a battery apart and then you find out you can't even get it back at the end of the day, doesn't make sense. In order for this thing to improve the environment and to set up a circular economy and bring the EV cars into total compliance, you have to be able to get that cathode material out. The rest of it's all mechanical. If you put a battery together, you certainly can take it apart, because there's not the complexity in taking it apart as there is in the assembly. That's kind of, I don't have anything new to say. I've got new things to say, but I can't talk about them right now because we have to, they're either not complete or some things have to be press released before I can talk about them. So it's, this is just in general to let everybody know that the company's still working hard, and that Cameco's working hard on getting the patent application in before November the 10th, or on November the 10th. And we expect there's not going to be any delays. Once the flow sheets are done, that pretty much explains the whole process. And so now it's a matter of putting the words around it. And you got to remember that when you're patenting something, there's things in there you got to be careful about what you say. And so this patent wants to be kind of bulletproofed against somebody just taking it and copying it and starting to recycle their own recycling business. So all these things have to be taken into consideration. So we have other advantages that we've discovered going through the bench scale work that would work better and should be patented, and so we got to be careful about not divulging that, because we'll be going for other patents on this. And just let everybody know that we are moving ahead as quickly as funds allow, and we expect that this coming year is perhaps this coming month will be a turning point for the company, and it's certainly going to be a big milestone for the company. And that's kind of what I just had to say. I just wanted to remind everybody that we're still working away out there, and the patent announcement will come once they are filed.
Larry, can you maybe explain to our new listeners what exactly American Manganese proposes?
American Manganese is a critical metals company. It's a mining company that has assets, and I just want to add a line in here that people forget. Our assets all lend themselves to the battery industry. You know, we have a rare earth property. We have a high-grade cobalt gold property. And we also have a manganese property in which when we do move ahead, we'll be moving ahead on the EMD side of it. So it's not like the American Manganese is a one-trick pony. We have an existing patent. We have patent pending, which will be filed in, I guess, 3 weeks. So it's you know, we are still moving ahead as a mining company, but what we've done is we've exploited some technology that we developed in manganese, and that technology is working for us with significant changes in the recycling of the cathode materials. American Manganese, you can find everything you want on our website at AmericanManganeseInc.com. You can contact the company or myself at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com, or give me a phone call at 778-574-4444.
And Larry, what platforms are you traded on?
We're traded on the TSX Venture Exchange. That's our dominant exchange, and under the symbol AMY. We're traded in the U.S. under the symbol AMYZF, and we're traded in Frankfurt under the symbol 2AM.
Larry, thanks a lot for the update.
You're welcome, Jim, and have a good weekend.
I'm Jim Goddard. My guest has been Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. We were speaking on October 27th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.